The course that I'm referencing is SI 410, Ethics in Information Technology, which is a required course for the new informatics concentration. That is a collaboration, it's an interdisciplinary collaboration between the College of Engineering's computers, EECS in College of Engineering, Statistics and Math Analysis, and the School of Information. The key to an upper level writing course is extensive revision of your work. And so the challenge I faced in conveying this content of the course is also to support revision in an open way. So that's what got me to where the technologies are that I'm going to be talking about today. The program is growing. Oh, I mentioned that already. There's a good gender balance. There's also very diverse. The diversity of the student population is more diverse actually than University of Michigan's own undergraduate population. So we have a lot to work with. 75% are informatics and 25% vary across a lot of different disciplines, largely because of the writing course, I think. It's typically general. I completely agree with Micah about the over-exaggeration of the tech skills, although because it's informatics and because there's a computer science and statistics and math component, there is a higher proportion of students who are tech savvy. And one of the challenges I have is mixing and matching students. First, discovering what their skills are, and then augmenting the skills of those who aren't as savvy as they claim to be. And it becomes very quickly evident when students have reached their limit. It takes only a matter of days to figure it out. I do pre and post surveys. I know a lot about how much time they spend online. Typically in a summer, 31 hours per week at active uses of technology. This is summer months, so they can't claim to be academically oriented. And there's significant gender and cultural differences in the use of technologies coming into the class. And I could go down that path quite deeply, but I'm not going to take the time today. The driving force for innovation is, the course is about exploring the ethical implications of new social media. And the premise here is that we learn by doing. I could lecture, there is a lot of lecture, but there's also a lot of doing synchronously and asynchronously. The issues that I'm exploring in the course are information trust and integrity, among other things, identity and privacy, and anonymity and gaining advantage, which is a more positive way of talking about cheating and plagiarism. In every case, I'm trying to take ethical dilemmas and look at the empowering issues that motivate the behavior that we sometimes judge as negative, but can also be positive as well. So there's a lot of exploring cultural value judgments and how they play out in social media. Okay, so the solution that I've been exploring is to use the MediaWiki open source platform as an enabling technology, which I've linked through CTools. So I originally tried using CTools' own wiki and found it wanting. And then we tried using the MediaWiki tool that's supported by the University of Michigan and found it much, much better, but limited in a couple of very significant ways, including administrative privileges that I and my tech support people need in order to manage anonymity within the system. So last year we went to install our own instance of MediaWiki on a School of Information server, and then linked it into, that's, okay, I'm out of order here. Okay, using the learning tool interoperability technologies that, with the support of Chuck Severance, who's one of the key players behind Sakai and CTools. Chuck Severance, working with my students, hardwired the MediaWiki application in through CTools so that we can use all of the authentication tools of the University of Michigan, but we can also establish fake IDs and logins for students so we can play with anonymity, working in a known environment or an unknown environment. But I've also integrated a state-of-the-art avatar, 3D avatar creation tool that allows students to, what the assignment is create a self-portrait of yourself in 3D and then write about the experience of trying to represent yourself in a 3D gaming environment. And then that essay is mounted publicly within the Wikimedia tool where other students anonymously review the personal honesty of the student's essay. for both for the quality of the writing, but also for its honesty, because they get to see the student visually. They can rotate and play with their avatar, and then they can say, okay, how well did you do on this? Both from exposing yourself or not, and then as quality of writing. So this peer review concept that I'm trying to push, expose students to the challenges of being reviewed anonymously, which we as academics take for granted, whether we like it or not. We take it for granted as a part of our life. So these two things, the MediaWiki and the avatar software, are integrated, and they're integrated through CTools. So I can control access, and I can monitor everything that's going on. So this is the ubiquitous page of CTools. I exposed the link here, basic LTI. For the students, this was connect to MediaWiki, but I wanted to show that where the actual site was lodged for the MediaWiki site. Once you're in like this. This is the actual site for the students. It's closed outside use because much of what's in here is private. It's in effect, it's overly private. It's personal commentary on their gender identity and their racial identities, and how that it varies when people know who they are and know who they aren't. And so there's a lot of very personal stuff going on here. But there are a lot of topics. What we did is we basically learned how to write in the wiki style. I'm a very wildly enthusiastic supporter of Wikipedia. And in fact, the origins of the course was my then 7th graders' restrictions in middle school of using Wikipedia as a source for anything. They got marked down in middle school and high school if they used Wikipedia. I said, what is going on here? So what we've done is try to explore what collaborative writing is all about and how to understand it as a trust system that works and doesn't work sometimes in anonymous writing and not, and where are the limits on that. So these are just some examples of the various topics. Anonymity, of course, with Wikipedia you can see the history, which is for the students. It's completely transparent. So for team-based writing projects, using a tool like this eliminates the inequities of team balance. There's always complaints if you have a group writing project that one person is doing more work than someone else. It goes away, completely disappears when you're writing openly and collectively. So the students can see what's going on, and we can teach them the full functionality of wiki writing. There's a lot of, and then there's all kinds of, especially for any given individual, I can see what they've contributed and go to the article and then see the specific detail of what they wrote, go back to the history. If you've used Wikipedia or MediaWiki, this is not rocket science, except what I'm trying to do is apply it both as a writing skill development tool and as an opportunity to explore the implications of this kind of writing for the way we relate to each other in writing. And then I use the avatar software to do the same thing with online behavior. And in case they write and they picture themselves. So the verbal, representing yourself verbally as well as visually is also a significant part of the class. Now, if you're familiar with MediaWiki, you also know that there are lots of tools that are built in. Because we mounted our own instance of MediaWiki, we were able to then import additional metrics and assessment tools that are not part of the default system. One of which is, let's see, I think it's cooperation statistics, contribution scores. Here, I'm able to, in real time, very actively monitor the relative value of the contributions of the individual students. It's scored based on the number of edits across a number of pages, because we're trying to encourage a lot of diversity. You get a low score if you dwell in one area. You get a higher score if you work across the system and collaborate with your partners. So there's that piece going on. That there's a lot of statistical stuff. I can watch in real time how the system is evolving, and I can plot that. But it was still, those systems were still inadequate for our purposes, so we had to do more. Because the advantage of MediaWiki and these tools is that it encourages a lot of work and a lot of activity on the part of the students. The challenge is assessment on how do we actually figure out and sort out what's going on. So in terms of quality, and especially when pardon all this jibber jabber. This is the stuff I just showed you that's built into MediaWiki, where I can do some scoring. This gives you a sense of the amount of activity that I'm trying to get a handle on. 39,000 page views, 5,500 page edits, substantive page edits, out of 49 students over the course of a 6-week exercise. So, and then this is the level of growth. Green means little activity, red means a lot of activity. Of course, at the end of the term, everybody was piling on, which creates an additional challenge for us to kind of grade and keep track of things. So what we've been experimenting with is building our own assessment system. So what we did is basically scrape all the information out of MediaWiki and drop it into a relational database where we can sort it. This one is sorted in terms of the actual order that everything happened. And we know who did what to what activities, and we're developing a system for scoring quality based on the quantity and the variety and location of the edits. So we've created a couple of different data sets, one of which is, one data set is the student's individual activity, and this data set number 2 is the activity by page and by user. So this gets a little bit complicated, but there's a list of wiki users, and that each user, we create a profile of the activity that they did. And there's also a list of wiki pages, which we can link users to pages or pages to users. All this data, basically we have 5,000 instances of activity in which the activity is sorted in order, it's linked to pages, and we also know the quantity and the specific location of the activity that happened. And what we're trying to do is figure out if we can massage this data to create a quality score that would allow us to assess students. Last year was the first year we did it, and it worked. I think it worked for about 60%, 70% of the students flawlessly. Our algorithm is working beautifully. This is the schematic of how we pulled the data together to create a scoring system. We have a significance algorithm that we're developing, which has to do with the quantity and the location and the timing of the contribution. You get more credit for contributing later, and you get more credit for more content, and you get more credit for certain locations within the article. The net result is an assessment score. This shows you for one particular student, this is their quality score, and it shows where they contributed the most quality. So this user had 45 significant edits across 7 pages. Most of them were concentrated in Second Life and in the article on Second Life. These are the significant edits, not changing a period to a semicolon, etc. This is significant. And then we can also play it out by games, by pages. So the video games and learning had 7 users contribute 48 edits, and one student in particular did yeoman work on that particular article. You can do this manually by looking through the edits, but after trying to do it manually in year 1, it was insane. So we've been trying to push this further. So where I'm going with this is to quicken, move student skills faster, and to bring all this assessment that we're doing into the classroom and make it more transparent to the students what's actually going on. So make it a part of the learning experience, and then and the trade-off is to put more content in the beginning, so that they don't have to. Basically, they're given a blank slate and they have to start from the ground up. So by bringing more content in from previous students' work, I can then bring more of this kind of assessment work into the classroom as an actual learning experience for them. In a sense, I'd like to get to peer assessment. If I've got peer writing and collaborative writing, why not move this assessment piece all the way to the students, into the students' hands? So that's where we're going with it. That was it. So there we go.
Thank you, Paul.